Hello, my beautiful twin flames. My name is Caroline. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at the full moon eclipse in the sign of Gemini that's happening on November 30th. I will be sharing my screen with you guys in just a moment, and we'll have a look at the transits and what the current energy is at for twin flames. It has just been, I don't know about you guys, I've said this in my last video, but the new moon in Scorpio really kicked my butt. Like there was no reason. It wasn't a poorly aspected new moon in any way, shape, or form, but it's Scorpio, right? And it was a super moon, so it's super close to the earth, and so it's more powerful. Boy, oh boy, it was just, my thoughts were going to very dark places. And so I've recovered from that just in time for eclipse season. Eclipses are a time of anything goes. It's a very, I don't want to say volatile, but it's a time where destinies are changed because the sun and the moon are so close to the lunar nodes of destiny that really, anything can happen. And we'll have a look at exactly what that means. I just wanted to read you guys the inside degree for this eclipse, which is happening at 8 degrees of Gemini. So right on the royal fixed star of Aldebaran, which is like Archangel Michael's, star. And Archangel Michael is like, right, heading this whole, twin flame mission. So it's really quite beautiful. So 6 degrees of Gemini is, 8 degrees, 8 degrees of Gemini is a chandelier which holds lit candles. Creative selfhood lights up the world. The brightest lies in the realization of being all things, becoming all things. It is everywhere at once. Nothing is linear nor consecutive. The spinning upon an axis of power. Joy lies in making the connections, in being a resource, and bringing the situation to what it can be. All is activated and mobilized. Your potential is actualized by being all-inclusive and keeping every side of life in your sights. Lift up from within, having a place to shine. And that is so very Gemini, right? Gemini means, Gemini is the sign of the twin flames. It rules siblings, it rules twins. It's the sign of communication. It's the sign of information. So just all very, pertinent topics for twin flames. So I'll be sharing my screen and we'll have a look at this lunation. So the reason that we know that it's a full moon is because we have the moon over here at, 8 degrees of Gemini, and it is directly opposing the sun at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. And so, yeah, what's interesting about this is that the sun is on the royal fixed star of Antares right here in Sagittarius, and the moon is on Aldebaran in the constellation of Gemini. And another really sort of cool little fun fact, I don't know if you guys have heard, it's not a rumor, it's actually true. There is a 13th sign of Ophiuchus, and it lies right here. It starts at 8 degrees of Sagittarius, and it goes all the way to the galactic center at 26 degrees of Sagittarius. It's just it's not like a full 13th sign that's gonna change everything in the whole wheel. Absolutely not. It's basically like a behind the scenes sign that's got like a little leg dipping into Sagittarius. It's, it's very esoteric knowledge that's been hidden. What else is new, for thousands and thousands of years. And if we were to choose a ruler for this sign, it would be Eris. And I don't even have Eris marked on the chart right now, but Eris sits at 23 degrees of Aries at the moment. She has been squaring the Capricorn stellium all year. Eris is a rebel. She is, she's a rebel. She's the uninvited one at the party, and she again, very misunderstood feminine, divine feminine energy. But this, the sun is exactly in her constellation, in her spot of Ophiuchus, which is a very, very intuitive, very healing sign. I mean, if we're going to talk about a 13th sign, like the 13 apostles, you could say that this is like the Mary Magdalene archetype and energy. And so it's a powerful eclipse. And the reason we know it's an eclipse is because it's within 15 degrees of the lunar node. So you've got the south node here that's with the sun, and you've got the north node here that is with the moon. It's not the strongest eclipse because obviously the closer if you were to have the moon at 19 degrees of Gemini, that would be a total eclipse. But because it's within 11 degrees, that is a partial lunar eclipse. So it's still very strong because it's in the same sign. Sometimes you'll have the nodes in one sign and then the moon in the other. That weakens it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, buckle your seatbelts because eclipse seasons are anything goes, anything is possible. Let's see what we have aspecting this lunation other than the sun. So we've got Venus. Venus right here. Poor little Venus, I like to say these days. Venus is in her sign of detriment. She's in the sign of Scorpio. So Venus is at home in Taurus. And so when she's in the opposite sign, she is in detriment. A Venus in Scorpio can be obsessive. She can be, obsessive is really the right word. And she will be making a quincunx to this full moon. She's at 10 degrees and the full moon is at 8. And she just made an opposition to Uranus. So she's just been rattled, no doubt, because she would rather be in Taurus and Uranus would rather be in Scorpio. So they're mutual reception. They're in, their opposite favorite signs. And so she just got, some shocking changes happening with her. So she's a bit rattled. And then a quincunx is sort of, it can go either way as far as an energy. It can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It can literally go either way. But yes, Venus is, she's going to start, not now, but the following new moon, she will be with Juno, sextiling the Capricorn party, including Jupiter, which the next new moon, also very, very good. Although, well, okay, again, little Venus is in detriment and so is Jupiter. Are we excited about December 21st when Jupiter finally moves out of Capricorn and will not be at fault position anymore? Let's have a look here. We still have our beautiful Juno at 23 degrees of Scorpio, making a trine to, it's a looser trine, it's a 5-degree trine to Neptune. So we are still, being downloaded with codes of beautiful unconditional love. That's still kind of at play here. We have the Mercury, the planet of communications, of information, of siblings, making a sextile to Saturn, and to Jupiter, which will take it, it's a sextile. It feels like right around the election, Mercury was in Libra squaring this, which is why we have so many delays. But yeah, so now Mercury is finally talking, we might see some more action around getting more information as far as what's going on in the collective. Back to Neptune. Neptune is also still squaring the nodes. And so for Neptune to be squaring the nodes of the moon during an eclipse, ah, gosh, things are not as they seem still. We still don't have all the information. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's definitely a lot of smoke and mirrors, especially within connection. Um, One of the things I had just had such a huge epiphany this week while Mercury was opposing Uranus earlier on. I wasn't 100% sold on the divine feminine being the asteroid Juno in astrological readings, and the divine masculine being Jupiter, just because the mythology of Juno is that really she was a nobody before she married Jupiter, and then she became the goddess of goddesses. And Jupiter wasn't the most faithful to her, and so, but she remained like the best partner. So I wasn't sure, but it's been explained to me better now that Juno meets up with Jupiter in a conjunction probably once every 7 to 8 years. And that is divine timing right there. And if some of you guys need help figuring this out in your connection and in your charts, do let me know, because I've went back and looked. And the last time that Juno and Jupiter were in the same sign of Leo is when I met my twin. I was a bit blown away. And then when the square happened, which is a hard aspect, that's when we broke up. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. Obviously, there's a gazillion other things that was going on in the charts too, but I never really seen. But we are entering definitely a nice period of either reunion or conversation, but because it's a sextile, that requires more work, but it's still a positive aspect, and it's not quite as easy as the trine. But yeah, I'm definitely on board with that lovely explanation from fellow astrologer K Moon, who has been saying this for a long, long time, and I just was not on board. I was like, I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see it at all. But yeah, and then when Juno was opposite Jupiter, I went a really long time with no communication. I mean, it's undeniable. So we will be, and then the next time in 2022, Juno and Jupiter will both be in the sign of Pisces, which is going to be a huge time of reunions and unions, all the way into 2023, where the conjunction happens at the early degrees of Aries, right around the beautiful sign asteroid of Chiron. So good, really a lot of good things. We're not quite out of the woods yet. We're not quite out of the woods yet, because Juno will start to separate later on in 2021. She'll go retrograde while Jupiter keeps on moving forward. And so they're going to square one more time. But after that, they're headed for that conjunction, which is, divine timing if I've ever seen it in the charts. So hang in there. It has been, brutal. It's, again, I'll repeat it. It's a journey we wouldn't wish upon our worst enemy. Our Capricorn party is finally starting. It's not poorly aspected for this eclipse, thank goodness, but it's finally starting to separate out. December 21st, we'll have Jupiter and Saturn move into the sign of Aquarius, make their conjunction. I think Saturn actually enters on the 17th and Jupiter on the 19th, but they actually conjunct on the 21st. So that is good news. If you have any planets, around the 8th degree of Gemini or the 8th degree, I have my ascendant right at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you have angles or planets around here, this will definitely hit you harder than it would anybody else. Also, this is like a mutable full moon. So if you have any planets around the 8th degree of Virgo, or, around the 8th degree of Pisces, this can also affect you more strongly, because it tends to do that cross like this, and depending, in the modality that it's in. Let's see what else we have. Let me just go around the wheel real quick and see. We do have Mars that is in a nice aspect. Mars, our planet of action, finally starting to, it was stuck at 15 degrees for so long. It's finally starting to, move forward. It's moved on. It's almost at 17 degrees. So sextiling the North Node, which is our destiny, and just pushing us into those new dimensions, those new high dimensions that we've been working so hard for. And it will be trining the South Node, which is really, really good, because that's the easier aspect, more so than than the difficult one to the North Node. And I believe that we've gone around around the wheel. You could also say that the Sun is making a quincunx to Uranus. So this could be a bit more of a wild card for this eclipse. But again, quincunxes can go either way. So, and it's already sort of passed, but you could expect some surprises. Eclipses always bring surprises, but this would be the planet, which is still, Uranus is still relatively close to Black Moon Lilith, which is also a rebel. And so you could expect some sort of twist. Yeah, but full moons are releases. I do invite you. I have a email subscription service that I provide for my email subscribers to write down their wishes on the new moon. So it's something that takes 10 minutes per month. There's 8 hours out of every month. That is way more potent than all the other 720 hours the whole month, to just write down what it is that you want. And I give you the how. I give you there's a method to this. No more than 10 wishes, but it's got to be more than one. You got to word them a special way. And so it's all included in the email sequence that you'll be getting. The link will be in the description down below. I hope to see you there. I wish you guys a beautiful full moon eclipse in Gemini. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. We are moving into a whole new dimension in December. And so this is the last few big releases until then. So I love you guys so very much, and I will talk to you super soon for the new moon in Sag. Bye.